So I think the title of this video might be something like exploring my own self-limiting beliefs. I am right now in a season of kind of starting to practice again. I'm trying to be serious about it. I don't want to speak too soon, but I'm aiming for something like I'm actually going to practice for at least an hour or maybe more a day. Hopefully for the rest of forever, but maybe at least for like a month or something like that. Now, why am I doing that? You know, the short answer is obvious. It's to get better, but I'm not a beginner and I'm not that young. I am 36 and I'm well into my music career, but I am nowhere near where I would love to be, and I'm nowhere near where I wished that I would be kind of when I started being serious about the keyboard, due to several things, but self-limiting beliefs is a big part of it. So, there's a lot of talk about letting go of your self-limiting beliefs or breaking through barriers that have to do with the things that you think about yourself that hold you back, and realizing that you are actually greater than you think you are. You can do more than you think you can, etc., etc. I'm not here exactly to say that any particular limiting belief that I have about myself or that you might have about yourself is in fact incorrect. We are all in different places in our, skill set and our natural abilities, and maybe due to certain just like natural things about how I learn or about how my fingers move, maybe I have certain barriers that make it harder for me to get to certain places. I really don't know, but I think right now I'm in a season of trying to explore pushing through my self-limiting beliefs. What are my self-limiting beliefs? Well, a little background. I started being serious about the keyboard when I was around 20, pretty late, at least as compared to the people around me. I started music at like 12 or 13 on guitar, and then switched to keyboard around when I was 20. I always felt like I would have been able to make it a lot further if I'd started younger. And there was a period in college where I sort of was in the mindset of trying to play catch up and like frantically practicing like all day, because I just had this fire to like be as good as I could possibly be. I'd see videos of people like Chick Corea and Corey Henry and the people who we think of as the greats, and I had this fire to like, I guess, be great. But the first thing that happened is that I ran into certain physical limitations. I got tendinitis when I was at Berklee. One of the reasons I dropped out. Not the only one, but one of them. So the period of my having the greatest fire to play and practice and improve coincided with my body sort of rejecting that path and having to be in like a brace and having to take days and weeks off from playing at the height of my desiring to push. That felt tragic at the time, for sure. That kind of happened every time I tried to go hard at practicing, until over the years I sort of just accepted where I was at, and accepted that I wasn't going to be one of those people with like insane virtuistic chops. I got older, and over time I accepted that, and it's genuinely okay to not be that. I mean, how good do you need to be to express yourself? How good do you need to be in bands? How good do you need to be to teach? How good do you need to be to perform at the highest levels on the biggest stages? How good do you need to be creative? And the answer is, you don't have to be like the top best player to do any of those things. You can perfectly well have a life in music and a career in music without being an insane virtuoso. And it's also the case that some of the most insane virtuosos are not the people who are making it. They're the people who are playing at the local jazz clubs in your city for $100 a night to no audience. I'm digressing real hard. Self-limiting beliefs. I started to accept where I was at, and now I see people who have those insane chops, who can just play anything, and there's this feeling of like, my fingers don't do that. I see people who can just play crazy stuff, and the way that it feels to me is like, my fingers just don't do that. I don't know what it is. Maybe those people got lucky with how their fingers and joints and tissues and ligaments are constituted, and the brain-body connection that goes along with it that allowed them to play like that. Or maybe they just worked way, way harder than I did, Maybe it's a combination of the two. Whatever it is, I didn't get there, and I can't get there, I guess. I have certain natural barriers. Natural barriers are real. Natural barriers exist. I know this from my own teaching. I've taught people who, their fingers stick out and their fingers curl in ways that make playing even the easiest things more of an uphill battle than it is for my other students. Those people have to work harder to overcome those things. Could those people ever be at the top levels of virtuosity? Maybe not. I don't know. So it's not like natural barriers aren't real, and maybe I've got some of them. I'm not here to say whether I do or don't, but due to a combination of these self-limiting beliefs and an acceptance of where I'm at as a player, and the reality of what happens in your life as you get older, the reality of I'm not 19 and in music school with nothing but time to practice anymore. I'm 36, I have real-life obligations, I'm in a relationship, I have financial obligations. It's hard to justify spending my time doing things that don't have concrete end goals or contribute to financial stability. And practicing is something that definitely does not have exactly a concrete end goal. It's just sort of something you're doing for you. I want to get better. Well, is getting better gonna... What is getting better gonna lead to other than your own sort of musical fulfillment and actualization? So it's harder to justify. And so, given all those factors, where I'm at now at 36 is that I basically never practice. And it's been years of me basically never practicing. And it's been a long time since I've made any meaningful gains, since I've really broken through to any new levels in my playing. So I think I'm at the beginning of what's hopefully a journey of exploring whether my self-limiting beliefs, exploring how real they are, and whether I can push past them. So my goal right now is to start practicing every day again. This time practicing things that I want to practice, not something that a music school or curriculum or teacher is telling me to practice, but really starting from kind of like the ground up and thinking, what kind of musician do I want to be? What kind of player do I want to be? What kind of music do I want to make? What are my barriers in regards to the kind of musician I want to be? And sort of inventing a practice routine that stems from that. So I'm right at the beginning of that. Maybe I'll report back in a month or so with how that's going and how challenging my self-limiting beliefs has gone. So that's where I'm at. And I'll report back in a little bit, and I'll keep you looped into the journey.